The dust has settled after the Nets were swept in the first round of the NBA playoffs. It was a disappointing season filled with a little drama and a lot of letdowns. Nets reporter Brian Lewis of the New York Post is with us to talk about where Brooklyn goes from here. And Brian, the playoffs are still going on, so it's hard for me to talk about next season, but how can the Nets bounce back next season?
First, I would say it's a lot of drama. It was probably more than a little. I mean, as far as bouncing back, I mean, the first thing they have to do is they have to be together. You know, I mean, they need to be together from October. They need 7 months together, not 7 games together, and go into the playoffs and think that they can flip the switch like I flipped the light on behind me. That's not generally how you win an NBA title. So that's the first thing. Let's assume for the second that Kyrie Irving and Steve Nash are both back. Let's get that out of the way. Let's assume that they're both back. They need to get better cohesion. They need to get longer and bigger on the wings. You would hope that Ben Simmons would help. You would hope that getting Joe Harris back would help. But, I mean, those are probably the primary things that I would look at.
All right, a lot of people will look at if Kyrie Irving comes back and what's the status going to be on head coach Steve Nash if he still remains. So what's the current status of Ben Simmons, though?
Well, I mean, Ben Simmons, as you know, has a herniated disc in his back, which I can empathize with. That's uncomfortable. But right now, from what I'm led to believe, the problem is probably more than 50% mental as opposed to physical. Ever since he had his epidural shot in mid-March, his back has improved dramatically. But now he's got a mental hurdle that he's got to get over to get back out on the court. And frankly, I understand that there's a little bit of grumbling, you know, within the organization. There were people looking, saying, oh, well, we wish he could have been out on the court. We wish we could have seen more, you know, in terms of an effort to get out on the court. But I mean, frankly, if he's dealing with a mental hurdle, I'm not sure how productive it really is to put him out in that environment for 5 minutes or 10 minutes. So the issue is right now they have to spend the summer getting him right physically and getting him in the right headspace to be able to play and be able to compete at the level they're going to need him to compete at.
Brian Lewis, with all the storylines attached to this team heading into the offseason, I'm sure we'll be hearing from you again soon. So thank you for joining us.
Oh, anytime.